Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone is a clear standout within the context of the rest of the series. As well as introducing the Wizarding World, the Philosopher's Stone is the most accessible book for children. It's shorter, more light-hearted, and even the writing style is simpler than in the Chamber of Secrets. But like a lot of Harry Potter fans, I still love the first book. For some people, the Philosopher's Stone is actually their favourite, and there's a lot of legitimate reasons for that argument. Me personally, it's not in my top 3, but I always thoroughly enjoy this story whenever I reread it. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing my top 5 chapters from the Philosopher's Stone. There are 17 chapters in total, so I'm actually going to be covering quite a sizable chunk of the book in this video. And please leave your own top 5 in the comments. Videos talking about specific chapters and comparing them to one another aren't that prominent on YouTube, so it'd be nice to get a discussion going. So at number 5 we have Through the Trapdoor, which is the penultimate chapter of the novel. Now there is kind of a plot hole here, which is why would a group of first years be able to get past obstacles set up by the likes of Dumbledore, McGonagall and Snape? But if you let that thought drift to the back of your mind, this chapter is pure fun from start to finish. I like how J.K. Rowling tailored the challenges to the characters. That was a nice touch. Hermione gets past the Devil's Snare and the potions bottles, Ron tackles the chessboard, and Harry puts Fluffy to sleep and then catches the winged key. Ron's sacrifice during the chess game is particularly good because he proves at that point that he's a worthy Gryffindor. Up to that point he feels a bit too much like a sidekick. I also think the obstacles guarding the stone make for a more interesting climax than the basilisk in the following novel. There's just more variety to this chapter, and that's what I like about it. At number 4, it is the Potions Master. For those who don't know, Snape is my favourite character, and this is the chapter he is introduced. Now he's very mean to Harry and the rest of the Gryffindors. He doesn't come across as likeable. When you've read the series multiple times, Snape's treatment of certain students is actually quite funny. But Snape is just one part of this chapter. We learn about multiple subjects and teachers in quick succession. Whilst I understand why people would prefer the previous chapter, the Sorting Hat, which involves the first look at the Great Hall and the Welcome Feast, I've always preferred this one as a way of getting to know the castle. Number 3, Diagon Alley. This chapter is a favourite of mine for an obvious reason. It's the first time we see the Wizarding World. Harry makes his way through this fascinating street and buys all his school supplies, as well as making a visit to Gringotts Bank. The scene with Ollivander is an obvious highlight. Rowling really captures the mysterious nature of Ollivander and his shop, and we also learn here that Harry and Voldemort's wands share the same core, which is of vital importance later on in the series. And it's easy to forget that we see Malfoy for the first time in this chapter. In the movie they don't meet until Hogwarts, but in the book Harry actually meets his Hogwarts nemesis in Madame Malkin's robes for all occasions, which makes for a fun scene as well. And the runner-up on this list is the following chapter, The Journey from Platform 9 3/4. This chapter is so well done and brings back wonderful, warm nostalgia whenever I read it. This chapter is of course where Harry is introduced to many characters who will become a huge part of his life. We're introduced to Ron and his family, Hermione of course, and Neville also makes an appearance in this chapter. Harry and Ron's first conversation is so well written. It's actually quite difficult to write about two characters meeting for the first time because you don't want their interactions to be too natural. There needs to be a degree of awkwardness, and Rowling really gets the balance right here. I also love how we're introduced to the different kinds of sweets in the Wizarding World when the Trolley Witch appears. It's a great example of Rowling's terrific world building. And to top it all off, we also get our first glimpse of Hogwarts, a great way to end the chapter. And at number 1 is the Mirror of Erised. This is certainly the chapter with the most emotional heft and substance in the Philosopher's Stone. It's really quite sad. What Harry wants more than anything else is to have a family. It's an uncharacteristically dark scene for a children's book. It's essentially a boy grieving for the family he's never had. It's a grim chapter to read through, but in a good way. It really tugs at the heartstrings. But it's not without its nicer moments either. The chapter takes place over the Christmas holidays, so we get to experience a festive themed castle, which is wonderful. And I've always enjoyed any scene involving spooking around Hogwarts at night. In fact, in storytelling generally, I get immersed very easily whenever a character is sneaking around somewhere at night, so I enjoy that aspect of it as well. So there we have it, those are my top 5 chapters from the Philosopher's Stone. Please do let me know what your favourite chapters are from this book. I think they're all really great. The chapter with Norbert and the chapter in the Forbidden Forest were also pushing for the top 5 but didn't quite make it. I'm guessing a lot of other people will like those as well because they're very fast paced and climactic. Anyway, thank you for watching, and it's goodbye from me until next time.